Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2, test, 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 1, 2. Test. One, two, 1, 2, 3. One, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Really what's important. Test, test. No, no. Test, 3. Is that better? You can hear me. Good. All right. I don't have to strain. So that's really good news. It's really good news from our standpoint of going to Italy. It's really good news for us when we're in Italy. You can deep breath of relax and enjoy yourself. That's the important thing. And it's going to get better still. I'm modulating just a little bit, Steve. All right. So, modulating even more. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about some details of the trip. And it's starting to focus on the important details. Before I start on the details, and again, I appreciate your patience this evening very much. Many things beyond our control in terms of our timing. We did the best we could. All right, I would like people to raise their hand that were not here at our last meeting. Raise your hand. Okay, now, we put you under the hot seat. For you that have just raised your hand, I'm going to ask your name, where you're from, and why you wanted to go to Italy, and what's the most important thing you want to see. Everybody understand? Your name, where you're from, why did you want to go to Italy, and what's the most important thing you wanted to do? I believe your hand came up. We'll start with you. If you'd stand up. I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
Okay, Judy Bowles. Why I wanted to go, I've never been, number one.
Great reason.
And I'd like to go to see Rome and all the other various places that have been mentioned. And it's just a good getaway, and I've never been there, so.
Good getaway. Now, thank you. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Another hand over here. A hand that came up right here. I know your hand didn't. Please. Okay. No, I'll hold.
Rosine, everybody knows me. This is Rosine. That's enough.
Wait, I don't know you.
You will in a minute.
Oh, I'm going to know you.
You will in about 6
Oh, we're going to be best friends on this trip. I'm telling you. All right. All right. And why did you want to go on this trip?
Because Judy wanted to go.
Oh.
And then,
Are you two together?
yes.
Oh.
And if whatever she wants to do, we just do.
Oh, wait.
That's all.
Can I introduce you to Richard over here?
I don't know Richard, but
Yeah.
he must be.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is it that you wanted to see the most?
Just all of any part of Italy is fine with me.
Any of
yeah,
it.
any of it. Just
So you
all
don't
of
really
it.
have much standards.
No.
It's just whatever.
I have standards.
All right.
but I'm open for most of the things. We just haven't, you know.
Oh, we're going to be best friends. I can assure you. Wait. Oh no, I'm coming over here. Neither one of you were here last. Oh, you were here? Oh, you were very unmemorable. I didn't remember that.
Gotta be careful what I say to you.
Right. And your name is?
Barbara Ramcharatar.
Okay.
I
And
want to
why
go to
did you
Italy.
want to go?
Because I want to go back to Venice. When
Back
I
to
was there, I
Venice.
didn't spend enough time there. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm from Sunshine Cathedral.
In Sunshine Cathedral. All right. I think I've heard of that. I'm not sure. Other hands? Now, okay. All right. All right. Stand up.
I'm Craig from St. Pete, and I think what I'm looking forward to the most is all of it really, but the 5 villages.
Cinque Terre.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. And have you come over today from St. Pete?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, excellent. Welcome, St. Pete. All right.
I'm Brian. I'm Craig's husband from St. Pete. Want to go? I haven't been, obviously, and I want to go to Florence a lot. That's been on a
why?
list because I liked the Medici show that I watched a lot and all the history. Medici, yeah. And have
Great.
fun.
You know
I want to eat.
A lot of food. Pasta. Yeah. Second largest cathedral is in Florence. Other hands? There were. Wait, did I miss? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep, and I'm Jerome Post, and we live here in Plantation, my husband Paul. I'm interested in the history of areas, and I thought Rome would be a perfect place to take a look at that.
The forum is awesome. Thank you. Welcome. And
I'm Paul.
you're Paul.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you off the hook. Here we go.
I'm Maddie. I'm from Wilton Manors.
Why did you want to go to Italy?
Well, Michael wanted to go, my husband.
Oh, he forced you to go to Italy, did he? Forced you.
No, he twisted my arm. But
And what do you want to see the most?
everything that I've seen on Rick Steves' Europe when he goes to Italy.
I love Rick Steves.
Me too.
All right. And
Yes. I'm Michael, and we're obviously husband and husband. And the reason, Wilton Manors, and the reason I wanted to go is you're going off the beaten track as far as, it's not the major, you're doing some of the major stuff, but also the minor, like Assisi. When would I ever get to Assisi?
That's right.
And I think that's wonderful. And Cinque Terre, I would never
Cinque Terre,
go.
you're going to love Cinque Terre. It's beautiful. All right. Other hands over here that were not here at the last meeting. I know there were some hands over here. Are those hands still here? They're still brave? Everybody was here? Okay. All right. Great. All right. Well, welcome. The reason we're doing this, we're going to have another meeting in March, and then we're going to have a final meeting in April. The reason we're doing this, and hopefully our extra time in terms of the reception will pay off because, by Carvel, because we want all of you to meet each other. It's job number one. We want you to meet each other and start to talk about your commonality and your common experiences, because you're going to enjoy this experience much, much more if you do. You're going with a big family, the Sunshine Cathedral. And as a result, you're going to have much more fun in doing it. We're going to have dinner one night, and I'm going to tell you about the hotel in Montecatini. And then one night after dinner, Darrell's going to say, let's go here. And everybody's going to want to go to let's go here. And we're going to have a great evening that is basically unplanned, and we'll just have the time of our lives. And the time of our lives is enhanced because you know the person to the left of you and the person to the right of you. It doesn't matter if they're in Naples or St. Petersburg or South Beach or Wilton Manors. That's the reason we're doing this. Because you could read about Italy over and over and over again. That's not this experience. So I tell you sincerely, that's what we are doing. Now, in terms of talking about the trip, we're going to go kind of day by day. But it's not really day by day, because at this moment, I cannot tell you the final itinerary for the ground handler who is based in Rome. The ground handler is the one that makes the arrangements, has hired the guide. We're going to have a gay guide, I believe a guy, not completely sure yet, but the person's going to be gay, and that's very important in Italy, because we want a gay guide that will talk about his or her experience in Italy. And Italy is complicated. It's complicated. Half of the clergy in Italy is gay. I'm kind of joking, but I'm also not kind of joking. And the experience of the domination of the church in Italy as being so powerful in family and political structure, etc., but not really followed in terms of its implementation in life is super important. And it's going to be valuable for us because we're going to get to experience what's it like to be Catholic in Italy, and what does Catholic mean in Italy. Jarrell and Robert completely already understand this, but most Americans do not. And that's what will be fun in this experience, because they're Catholic, but they're not American Catholic. And you'll learn all about that when you're in Italy. So having a gay guide that is probably Catholic will be very valuable for us, because they are going to help you understand their experience in Italy. That guide will be with us from day one until you getting on the plane back in Rome. They will travel with us 24 hours a day. They'll be staying in the hotels. You'll be able to ask them every question. They will be able to give you every recommendation. They will tell you the kinds of things that you want to see, the kinds of things you want to do. You want to get away from us. You want to get away from the group. This person will be an expert that will be able to help you do that, and they will be with us 24 hours a day. When we land in Rome, until we take off in Rome, that person will be with us, which will make the experience quite special. Okay, so there's that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was flight. Raise your hand if you've already made your flight arrangements. Good for you. Good. If you are not one of those people that have raised your hand, tomorrow you should be looking at your flight arrangements. The flights are not going to get any cheaper. It's impossible. Everybody understand what I just said? It's not going to get any cheaper. I have been around travel to Europe for 25 years, and this is the most value-oriented flights to Europe I have ever seen. So it's not going to get any better. So don't procrastinate. There's a number of hands in the room that did not go up. Don't procrastinate. Right now we're filming because we're having the technical problem. But as we repost this, make sure you get your flight arrangements done. Now, in Italy, when you fly, we are going to meet you at the airport. And what is going to happen? Now, I'm going to go through day by day and kind of give you an understanding of what will happen on this trip, to give you some comfort of how this will work. When you fly to Italy, you're going to presumably land in Rome. There's a few people, I understand, that are flying to other places and then they're traveling by surface, train or whatever, to Rome. If you're doing that, then you're meeting at the hotel. But if you're flying into Rome, on the 19th, we are meeting you. And when I say meeting you, we have representation that will have signs that will say Sunshine Italy, and they will meet you when you come out of the International Customs Gate in Rome. When you come out of the International Customs Gate, they are going to go to baggage claim. You're going to collect your luggage. They are going to get you to awaiting transportation, and then you're going to be transferred to the hotel. Everything is handled for you turnkey. So you have no concern at all in terms of the transfer to the hotel. You're departing on Tuesday, April 19th, which means, please, and I didn't say, raise your hand on questions at any point, at any time. Sir.
Flying in, we'll all be arriving different times. Will you need our flight time?
Yes, we're going to, but not until about 25 days prior to the departure. We're going to ask you your flight information. David Hopkins, who you have talked to, will be getting your flight information, and that'll be the information that we have from you. Sir.
Some of us are coming in a day early. Will you be treated at the airport?
You will not. Let me repeat that question. You're coming in a day early. Will you be met at the airport? No, you won't. What will happen is, and we don't know what your arrangements are, so we will meet you at the hotel. So on April 20th, which is what I was going to say, remember, if you, when you depart on April 19th, you're an overnight flight to Rome, so you will arrive on April 20. How many people in the room have not been to Europe ever? Raise your hand. Okay, most people have been to Europe. So it's a very similar experience no matter where you go in Europe. Let me start there. On April 19th, when you depart the USA, you're going to fly overnight, whether it's a domestic USA, a US flag or a foreign flag carrier. You're going to fly overnight. In general, flights are 9 to 14 hours in travel to Rome. That's essentially what's going to happen. You're going to depart in the late afternoon, depending on connection, if it's USA, or early evening, if it's a really short connection through Europe somewhere. You're flying to Lisbon, you're flying to Paris, you're flying to Berlin, you're flying to London. Then you're going to arrive in Rome in morning, 7 to 10 a.m., 11 a.m., depending on those connections. So you will arrive. When you arrive on April 20th, which is Wednesday, April 20th, that is when representation for Sunshine's Italy will meet you. If you've come in early, then on Wednesday, April 20th, when your services begin at the hotel in Rome, the Papio, that's where you will meet. So you will meet at the hotel. That's what happens. Make sense for everybody? Yes? Okay, so when you arrive, let me tell you something about your transatlantic flight. Rome is quite a flight. Is anybody on the nonstop by chance from Miami? A lot of you, good. Okay, well that's the most convenient because you don't have to change. But that flight I think is around 9 hours. So you've got a big flight to Rome. When you arrive, I will tell you now, and you're going to hear it over and over again, you should not lay down. On Wednesday, April 20th, do not lay down. And the reason you don't want to is because you want to overcome your jet lag as quickly as possible. And the only way to overcome your jet lag is to stay up all day, even though you've arrived between 7 and 11 o'clock in the morning. You stay up all day and as late into the evening as you can. And it will be very difficult. For my age, it is very, see how I cleverly did that? For my age, it is a very hard thing to do, but you will appreciate doing it that way. You won't want to go to bed until 9 to 11 o'clock on Wednesday, April 20th, because it will break the jet lag almost immediately. If you go to sleep, if you nap during the day, you're going to have jet lag for days and days of the trip, and you don't want that. Your time's too precious to have that. So you're going to arrive on Wednesday, April 20th. We're going to transfer you to the hotel, and then you're going to stay up. The most logical thing for you to do on Wednesday, April 20th is go right into central Rome. Now, the Papio is not central Rome. It's northwest. It's about 20 to 25 minutes northwest of the Roman Forum, for example, or the Vatican, although you wouldn't want to directly go to the Vatican. You're about 20 to 25 minutes. Train is very easy. I have not seen yet, this hotel once upon a time had a complimentary shuttle to Rome Central, but everything has changed with Rome hotels because of pandemic. So we currently do not reliably know if they provide any transportation. We'll keep you current on that if they do, and we'll provide schedule for you, etc., if they end up doing that. Even if they don't, it will make no difference. You'll be able to get into central Rome, and during the day on Wednesday, April 20th, that would be highly desirable. Because you're excited and being in Rome and whatever it is that you would like to do, you are more inclined to stay awake. And that's really the only thing that's important on Wednesday, April 20th, is to stay awake, and it's easiest to do that in central Rome. Go to the Colosseum, go to the Forum, whatever it might be that you would like to do. Next thing, questions? Sure.
So when we arrive at the airport, will we be picked up and taken to our hotel?
Yes.
And from then on, we're on our own?
That's right.
As far as going into the city?
That's exactly right. We'll have representatives that will work the trip for us at Sunshine that will meet you at the hotel. It'll be kind of a check-in. We'll give you any current information, any changes. And one thing that I want to point out, I'll come to you next. One thing that I want to point out, and it's something I've believed my entire life. Travel, if you are a math person or you're a scientist, disregard that immediately when you apply it to travel. Travel is not an exact science. It is not. Things change all the time. All the time. So just get yourself in that mindset. Flexibility, flexibility, flexibility. And if you do, you're going to enjoy more, and enjoy more. It is not an exact science. All kinds of things will happen. We'll run into traffic jams in Rome. We will run into the taxi and truckers union decide to block streets. We will run into 25 other kinds of potential things that could occur. And the only thing that's important about that is, what do we do to adjust to that? That's the only thing that's important. But I can't tell you on February 17th what that thing will be, because we don't know what that thing will be, because it's not an exact science. So if you start thinking about that in that way, you're going to enjoy the experience so much more. All right, the next thing, yes, oh, thank you. No, you will not be able to. The only way you'll be able to is if the room was not occupied the night before. Just like any hotel, if Rome returns to normal, and interesting, everybody heard that question? Will your room be available when you check in at 9:30 in the morning? Probably not, unless the hotel is empty. Then you can. We do not know yet. Tourism has not returned to Rome yet. It just hasn't. Mostly because Americans are not really pouring back into the continent yet. So as a result, hotels in Italy, which are overwhelmingly dominated by American and English tourists, it hasn't returned to normal. We don't know by April if that will be the case. If it isn't, perhaps a room will be available. If it has, a room definitely will not be available. You won't be able to check back in until mid-afternoon, like any normal process of your check-in. They're going to, thank you for bringing that up. They're going to take your luggage. They know that you're traveling with Sunshine and that you're checking in, and they're going to take your luggage and store your luggage. So you won't need to, and you won't want to do that. Whether you're coming in early or you're flying in the day of the 20th on Wednesday, you'll want to come to the hotel and get rid of your luggage, because you want to get out for the day. You do not want to stay at the hotel on the 20th. Why don't you not want to stay at the hotel? Because you'll sit in the lobby and fall asleep. That's what will happen, and you don't want that to happen, sir. Yes. Yes, but you don't get those until you arrive in Rome. The question was about special tags for your luggage. Yes, you will have special tags, but you don't get those until Rome. Thank you. Your vaccination status. I can't answer his question. I can't answer his question because I don't know what Italy is going to do yet. It's too early on February 17th. We very much imagine that there's going to be lots of changes between now and the 20th of April. We will completely keep you current about what's happening on pandemic and probably give you the notification at our April social. And we'll tell you, we're now very certain that this is what's going to happen. But if it were tomorrow, you would have to carry your vaccine card with you for proof. They do not accept it on the phone like they would here in the United States. I traveled for 3 weeks in the West for Christmas and New Year's, and they would accept it on my phone everywhere. They will not do that in Italy currently. But I can't tell you any more than that because we don't know any more than that. Things are going to change. It's not an exact science, okay? All right, so we have Wednesday, the 20th. You've checked in. Now, you're going to spend your day going into Rome. Whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to try to stay out as long as you can. We'll probably do something in the early evening in the hotel as a meet and greet. We have dinner included at the hotel. We'll probably do something beforehand in focus. But our strategy will be to keep everybody up as late as we possibly can keep you up. If you go into Rome on your own on the 20th, Let me tell you, the first thing that ruins trips, everybody thinks it's a medical experience. It is not. The thing that interrupts or affects your trip the most is crime. And what happens is you walk around because you're excited to see the Colosseum or to see St. Peter's for the first time, and women are not paying attention closely to their purse. Or your wallet is in a place that is easily stolen. You do not want to be in that situation. So, and we'll talk much more about this. I'm just broadly and cursory talking about it. But crime is an issue everywhere in the world, no different than in Italy, no worse than in Italy. But crime is an issue everywhere in the world. And the only thing that you want to do is do as much precaution as you possibly can, because you just don't want to deal with the time and the worthlessness of dealing with theft, of stolen money, etc. Your wallet, your purse, those kind of things. So you'll want to guard your wallet and your purse carefully. That's especially true if you take public transportation. If you take the train, you increase your risk. It's not a reason not to take the train. It just means that you're paying more attention because you're on the train, right? It's not a question of your safety or your security. It's just paying more attention. So that's what will happen on Wednesday, the 20th. Any questions so far in terms of what we've talked about? Yes. Thank you. Have you been to Europe? Okay, it's a very good question. Your hairdryer is not going to work. Your computer is not going to work. Nothing you have is going to work. Everything has to have a converter. You must have a good multi-prong converter. Very easy to get, all kinds of. Go into Best Buy and you can buy a kit that is your converter, depending on how many appliances that you want to run. Probably many of you are bringing a laptop, I would assume, or you're going to charge your phone, or whatever it might be. You must have converter to be able to do that. The hotel, both the Papileo and the Biondi, will have a converter. And you will go to the desk and say, can I have a converter? And they said, oh, I gave the last one out 3 minutes ago. Do not assume that the hotel is going to have a converter for you, because 19 other Americans before you have said, oh, I came here without a converter. Do you have one? Yes, we do. Here's our only converter. So make sure you bring your converters. Thank you.
Amazon has lots of great ones. We got one recently that is the Italian plug, and on the outside it has 2 American outlets, electric outlets, and 3 USB ports.
Now, would it be inappropriate on that, thank you for that observation, would it be inappropriate for me to start making the jokes yet that I'm listening to him carefully about the outports and the imports, and that's probably too soon. Okay, all right, I won't do that yet. Wait till next month. Yes, thank you. But make sure you have the converter and the number of converters that you want. Now, let me tell you about hotels. They're not like our hotels. Here, if you check into the Courtyard by Marriott, it's virtually every Courtyard by Marriott everywhere in America. If you check into the Holiday Inn Express, it's like every Holiday Inn Express in America. Italy is not that way. First off, the Papileo is a 4-star business hotel. It's a very good hotel for Rome. It's not the Cavalieri Hilton at 800 rooms, a big convention hotel, but that is not the hotel standard in Europe. It is not the hotel standard in Rome. Hotels in Rome are much smaller. Hotels in Montecatini are much smaller again. Hotels are much older. It is nothing to be in a hotel that's over 100 years old. Nothing to have a 100-year-old hotel, which means the size of the rooms are different. It means the elevators are different. Americans are always shocked when you get onto a hotel or onto an elevator in Italy and it carries 2 people. 2. Me and a half another person can get on the elevator. That's 2, by the way. Richard, suck in your gut when you get on an elevator with me. It's completely different. Now, you can go and complain. or you can go and say, this is why I came. It's two different strategies. I have stood in hotel lobbies in Monocattini with a 72-year-old American guest that's screaming bloody murder that it's not like the Holiday Inn in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, and that's why you're not in Atlanta. I really honestly believe that. And if you refocus your thinking in that way, it's going to be a fabulous experience. You're probably going to be disappointed if you're expecting the Holiday Inn, because it's not. Both of these are 4-star hotels, but their 4-star standard is based on a physical plant structure, which is different than a hotel that was built 7 years ago in the United States. It's not unreasonable to go, we completely respect that this building is 120 years old and therefore is such. Your rooms will be smaller. Chances are very good that if you have 2 beds, they're going to be 2 twin beds. A king bed does not exist in Italy. It just doesn't exist in Italy. Richard's going to ask me, I want a king bed. Richard, you're not getting a king bed. It doesn't exist because the rooms are just not big enough for a king bed. They just don't think that way. And as a result, it's an expectation of acceptance. This is what Italy is about. This is what Spain's about, what France is about, et cetera, and so on. That's what the hotels are like, sir.
Do all the rooms have private baths?
Yes. The question was private baths. All the rooms except Durrell and Roberts, and theirs is way down the end of the hall. Yes, it's outside. And yes, and with a dug hole. Yes, with your chair, right. No, everything is private bath. All completely great. You'll like it. You will like it, but it's just different. It's just different. Elevator up. In Venice, if you stay in Venice, for example, 1 in 2 chance that you're in an iron door and caged elevator in Venice. Where in America are you going to see that? You're not. But they can't even tear that elevator out. It violates their code standards for age. All right, so that's about the hotel. Papillon is a modern hotel. It's a business class hotel. I don't remember the size, but I'm guessing maybe 80, 90 rooms total in the whole hotel. Restaurant and a cocktail bar. In our stay, very unique in that we were able to get the Papillon to do what Monocattini does. Monocattini, it's very common. Rome, it's not common at all. We were able to get the hotel in Rome to throw the dinners in for free. And what they have done is they'll serve a probably 3-course dinner, and you'll have a couple of choices, and it's included. Your breakfast is included. It'll be a deluxe continental, not like a Holiday Inn Express continental breakfast, because it'll be better than that. The breakfasts in Europe are really much better. They say continental, but they're really much better in terms of the breakfast. And then you'll have dinner, and all of your meals are included. All of your breakfasts, all of your dinners are included, including in Rome, which is very unusual. So that's the Rome hotel, Papillon, the Papilio, sorry. And we'll help you in terms of getting into Central Rome. We'll give you all of that information. Questions? Hotel in Rome. Any? Say?
The following morning.
Following morning. Okay. Then we're in Rome for 2 nights. The first night is just to get you through, to keep you up, to stay. On day 2, you have gone to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. You've slept all night. You've defeated jet lag, and really our vacation and our sunshine trip begins on day 3, which is our first full day in Rome. We have sightseeing in Rome included. I'm going to tell you about some of the excursion, additional things that we've asked the ground handler to do that we know are things that you will likely want to do as an additional charge. The vast majority of everything is included in terms of sightseeing. Rome sightseeing is included in Rome. And what will happen is it's all by motor coach. Now, quick question about our motor coach. We have something different than you will see here. As different as the hotels are in Italy to America, as different as the transportation is in Italy versus America. The transportation in Italy is actually far better on average in Italy than it is in the US. So motor coach choices. We have two choices that we're working on confirming. One of which is a coach with a single platform, meaning one level, like what you would normally think of a coach. An average coach in the United States is 50 seats. We can get a coach that has 64 seats on it. It's considered a stretch, very popular in Europe to carry comfortably 60 passengers. Or we potentially can get a coach that is a double-decker. And it's like what you would most commonly think of like the London double-deckers, except they're real touring coaches. And they have about 20-some seats downstairs, around spiral staircase, and then 50-some seats upstairs on 2 levels. Does anybody object to the idea of having 2 levels where if you had any walking impairment, you could be downstairs or you could go upstairs? Does anybody have objection to that?
Is the upstairs an open coach?
No, no, oh, no, no, no. These are touring no, you wouldn't like that. It would be very windy. And especially if it rained, probably not good for you. No, no, no. These are touring coaches, like a regular coach. But it gives us a bit more space if we do that. But we're just making sure, is that any issue for anybody? If it is for you afterwards, come in and speak to me on it. So we're going to do Rome sightseeing. You're going to do all of the major sites. We're going to go to St. Peter's Square. We'll go to the Roman Forum. It will visit the Colosseum. It does not include admission in the Colosseum. You can do that on your own if you would like. I personally think the day that you land, go to central Rome and do the Colosseum that day. It's really worthwhile to do. And the renovations at the Colosseum have been incredible. And so you can go and see that. And that's what we'll do for the day. Then at the end of the sightseeing tour, you can either stay in central Rome and come back later on your own, or you can go on the coach back to the hotel. You'll have choice. And we'll give you heads up every step of the way in terms of the choices that you have for transportation, to use our transportation in different ways to get you around, but allow you the time to do more things if you would like to do more things. Did that make sense in terms of what I just said that we'll do? Okay. Currency, thank you. You can't use US dollars virtually anywhere. Now, we don't know post-pandemic if maybe that is loosened, but I would generally say to you right now, you cannot use US dollars. It's going to be euros for sure, and you're going to have to convert. I would not buy money in advance. Wait till you get to Italy. Your exchange rate is not significantly better in buying money here, so don't do it. Just wait till you get to arriving Rome International and buy money there. At the airport is the best place to buy it, and they'll be the most competitive in terms of price. There are other times that you can buy money, but remember, if you go into a bank, you're paying more money. So at the airport, it's going to be the most competitive to buy your money, and wait until you arrive in Rome.
We were there in December, and a lot of places did not want paper. Euros or dollars. They wanted a credit card because it said paper is dirty.
Yeah.
And the credit card was cleaner for them
Yeah.
to swipe. So
Perhaps. I acknowledge in December that's pandemic holdover. By April, it would surprise me if that attitude continues, because it's going to return to pre-pandemic thinking, which is they don't want to touch a credit card. They're touching a credit card because they feel like it's more dangerous for them to touch money. We all know that money does not transmit COVID-19. That's not true. They'll come back to that thinking, and then they'll go, we're not paying the 6% that a credit card costs them in Europe. Their credit card transaction is double almost what it is in the United States. So you'll have actually more difficulty using your credit card in Italy than you would find here in the US. So, but I can't answer your question because I don't know what it'll be like yet in April. We'll continue to monitor that though. Sir. I wouldn't do that. to be honest with you. Somebody told the story in the group. Is everybody in the group, by the way, thank you for telling that story, is everybody in the Facebook group? If you're not in the Facebook group, please join the Facebook group. Even if you're not in Facebook, if you do nothing in Facebook for the next 2 months but that group, it's going to be worth your while, because we're going to talk about stuff just like that we can't do in any other way. It's a secret group. Nobody knows it exists. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. In that instance, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't use my credit card in an ATM. And the only reason is just like what I told you about safety and security. I just wouldn't take the chance. It's just not worth it to me to take the chance. Probably absolutely no problem until you have the problem that you outlined. Yeah. I'll tell you, with 15 days, just sit down with a piece of paper and go, here are the kind of things that I'm going to spend money on every day. Total it up. Say, that's how much euros I need, and get that amount of euros when you arrive at Rome Airport. And if you've done a pretty good assessment, you're going to be close or a little more, and you sell it back when you come back to the Rome Airport, and you're done with it. I really, that's what I'm going to do. I just tell you what I'm going to do. Okay? Any questions about money? Everything is probably going to be in cash. However, 100% of the time, 100% of the time, ask, can I pay this by credit card? 100% of the time. Pre-pandemic, 70% of the time they would say no. Post-pandemic, I can't tell you what that will be, but you should try to pay by credit card. You're completely safe by credit card because any transaction you do, your credit card company is legally required to stand behind your purchase. Legally required. So you make the credit card company fight whatever issue happens for you. Yeah.
What we found out too is when you go and use your credit card, they're going to ask, do you want to pay in dollars or do you want to pay in euros?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You pay in local currency because you're paying a double exchange if you pay in US dollars. And why do they want to do that? Because if they ask Al that, and I say it, so I'm using me, wink, wink, I'm using me, they're assuming, Al, you're kind of dumb. So I'm going to let you be dumb and make you pay the exchange rate twice. Exchange, exchange. No, it's euros. Cost 100 euros. We're done. Okay.
Tony also pointed out something important. Bathrooms are not available for no cost.
Oh, thank you. We're going to have so much fun. Bathrooms, 100% of the time, I use this 100% thing. 100% of the time, you're always thinking, where's my next bathroom? Where's my next bathroom? Ladies, please listen to me. Where's my next bathroom? The reason is because you're traveling with 59 other people. This is different. It's great because it's a big social family where we're all going to have lots of fun. We're going to be laughing all the time. But you're traveling with 59 other people that you're enjoying, except when you have to go to the bathroom. Okay? So always ask, where's my next bathroom? Where's my next bathroom? You cannot go to the bathroom on the motor coach. They have a lavatory. It will be locked, and the driver will laugh in your face if you ask to open the door. It just will not happen. So every time you stop someplace, you're paying attention to where your next bathroom is. Period. There's no reason to argue, because that's the way it works. Okay? So we accept. When in Rome, right? Right? That's exactly what it is. Okay? Start.
The bathroom charge is usually
Coin.
some of the bigger airports, train stations will give you change in a machine. A lot of them, no.
Yeah.
You don't have that coin.
Yeah.
Keep on.
Yeah. Have your coins.
Have them with you.
And the strangest thing we learned that quite often toilet paper is extra.
Yeah. You heard? Toilet paper costs you more. Yes. They don't believe in bathrooms, apparently, and right? One other thing that Americans get caught up in, especially in Rome. This won't happen in Tuscany, but it does in Rome because Rome is such a major tourism place. You're going to go to the Colosseum and there's going to be gladiators dressed, and you're going to go, oh, that's fantastic, I want a picture. And you'll wave the gladiator over, and the gladiator will take the picture, he'll put his arm around you and go, 10 euros. And is so good at the scam, he will shame you into not paying the 10 euros. So unless you're willing to pay for whatever picture with a person that you want, don't take the picture with the person that you want in advance. Right, it's Times Square on steroids, because the Romans at the Colosseum and in the Forum have it to a science. So I just remind you, Richard, as I continue walking, going, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. It's because no thank you. Unless the picture's really important to you, and then it is, because it's important to you, it's not important to you. It's not important to you. Sir. Yeah, and frequently there will not be. The women are going, oh my God, what third world country am I going to? No toilet seats. Frequently, that's right. Okay? Other stuff, money, sir. Say? To be honest with you, I would never touch a debit card abroad, anywhere in the world, ever. The question is using a debit card. Debit cards outside of the United States are a no-no, period. Credit card, you have complete protection. Why do you need a debit card for a couple of $1,000s? Don't open yourself to that kind of risk. It's not worth it. Okay? All right. All right, so that's our, we'll stay 2 nights in Rome. We'll do something after dinner. I don't know what yet. I've asked multiple people to open some doors for us in Rome, especially LGBT. We'll do that. Then on day 4, we're going to leave Rome and we're going to do the motorway. And I say motorway, not interstate, because the motorways in Italy are completely different than our interstates. There's no commercial development on a motorway in Europe. It's a big, high-speed motorway from Rome to Florence, and then Florence to Lucca, or Florence to Pisa, rather, and Montecatini is on that exit between Florence and Pisa. So you'll be on a motorway. We'll make sure, several people asked me about this tonight, we will make sure we do one of the motorway stops. Imagine 7-Eleven as a Taj Mahal. And it's a cool experience to see on the motorway because they're built as, they might have a gourmet restaurant in the rest stop. Frequently they're built over the motorway where you can walk all the way across. Of course, they're going to sell every food item, every souvenir you can possibly think of. It's a fun thing to do. And we'll make sure that we do that. On this day, not very long, we're looking at about a 5-hour trip. It's not bad, and we'll make a stop going north at Assisi. And we'll visit there. In all of the places that we're going to, in addition to our guide, it'll be a guided sightseeing experience. So it's a history lesson and sightseeing. Now, the one thing for Americans, it's unlike coming to America. Because if you traveled through Arizona, you don't travel through Arizona, even on a coach tour, the way you would in Italy. Because you're going to, there's just a huge amount of history to see and learn and understand. And so the people that are telling you about it are going to tell you about it. And the one thing that most Americans come away with is, oh my God, they just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. Yes, they do. And you want them to, because tell me everything you know. And if I don't want to listen to it, I'll stop listening to it. But that's not a reason to tell me. That's our attitude on this trip. It's going to be an educational blitzkrieg of Italy, because we want to know everything. And then if you don't want to know, just tune out, no problem. Okay? So we'll travel that day up, we'll make a stop in Assisi, and then we'll go to Montecatini. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. You cannot get into a church in Italy in shorts at all. Now, again, this is all pre-pandemic, but I don't likely think that there's change on this. Women have to be dressed, as in definition, conservatively. Now, what is conservatively? There's nobody virtually in this room, with the exception of shorts, that would violate a standard of going into St. Peter or the Basilica in Florence or the Basilica in Pisa. It wouldn't do that. But you have to have long pants. You can't. Say? No tank tops. Men can't get into a cathedral in a tank top. So you have to be. And we'll do that in Rome. We'll do that in Florence. And we'll do that in Pisa. There may be other times, and the guide will give you a heads up in advance of that. But those three places, for sure, you're going to go into a basilica, and you can't be dressed that way. Okay, sir.
Typically, women can't have bare shoulders.
Bare shoulders would be a no-no. Yeah, can't. No. And I don't know if this is completely obvious, but you can't be topless either, by the way. Y'all are going to have so much fun with me. I'm just telling you right now.
Well, we talked about excursions, like when we were in Rome. I mean, what time, like, do they start? We're talking 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, in general, there's going to be some departures that start at 8 o'clock in the morning. If I can convince them to start at 9 o'clock, I'll try to convince them to start at 9 o'clock. We're not, as such, really probably super adverse to earlier hours in this room. I'm not. I suspect most of us are. If we have 24-year-olds in the room saying 8 o'clock in the morning might be catastrophic, but generally that's what we're talking about.
What time do the buses go back?
Generally, you're looking at full day. These sightseeing are designed to basically fill the day to 4 or 5 o'clock. They'll be super sensitive of trying to be able to show you as much as possible in the day of sightseeing. So the day, for example, that goes to Lucca and Pisa, you're going to the walled village of Lucca, then you're going to Pisa, or vice versa. They'll probably go to Pisa first and see the Leaning Tower, and the time that you have there, have lunch there. A departure for Pisa and Lucca would be either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, unknown at this point, and probably back between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's breakfast, departure, sightseeing for the day, back, a little bit of rest, dinner, and then Darrell and Robert going wild in bars at night and night. Right? Okay, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, please. No problem. No. Lunch is on your own. Yes. In most instances, the guide or guides will plan for a lunch stop and say, here's how much time we have to do this. They will never, with the exception of an optional excursion, which I've asked them to do in Tuscany, to go to farms. There's going to be, one of the days is to go to olive and wine farms and have lunch in a farmhouse. That's a different plan, because that's a really special experience. In general, no lunches will be planned at all. And the reason is because the breakfast you're going to find is very ample. It's very ample. And if you take breads, for example, or fruits or whatever it is that you take, you're probably going to be pretty good for the day. And then whatever you do during the day for lunch is a supplement. Cheeses, pizza, pastas. Oh my God, there's so much pasta. And that's completely up to you. And you'll have time, and they'll take you to a place where there are many options to eat as heavy or as light as you want. But it's never planned. There won't be any lunch plans on this trip, with the exception of that. Generally, yes, but no. What will happen for dinner? Rome, I'm a little unclear of at this moment, because it's highly unusual. Rome hotels do not do what they're doing for us, which I'm thrilled about, because it was a super value for what they offered. Thank you, pandemic. No. in Montecatini, they do this every day. 100% of the guests are what is called half board. This is half board. It's a forgotten concept in America. In Europe, it is a very common concept, especially in communities like Montecatini, which we're coming to now, Montecatini. Montecatini is a destination not for Americans. A lot of Americans go because they've heard of it or they've had friends that go, and then they turn it into a vacation destination. But most Americans do not go to Montecatini. Europeans live in Montecatini. And the reason is because it's the largest spa resort in the entire continent. And because of the spas that they have, people go for the thermal water baths. That's why they go to Montecatini. They think it is good for their health. And so they do the hot and cold baths, they do the massages, they do all kinds of exercise stuff. And they go and stay for 3, 4, and 5 weeks in these hotels. And they do it in what is called half board, which is breakfast and dinner, or full board, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so this hotel, virtually 100% of all the guests staying in the hotel, in addition to us, will be in half board. So the restaurant is completely designed like a cruise ship, without even knowing that they're doing it like our experiences in a cruise ship. And what will happen is they'll open maybe like at 5 o'clock, and the last seating will be at 7 o'clock. So you have 2 hours to have dinner. Now, that may sound great for you, but I'll tell you already in advance, you won't, if we do dinner, let's say at 6, you won't want to go at 7. And the reason is because you won't be part of the cool kids table anymore. The cool kids table will be there at 6. And we'll have lots and lots and lots of fun. And it'll be a super enjoyable experience. And I highly encourage you to pay attention to that, because that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. We want all of you to get to know each other, so we have that experience. When do you go on a cruise and you have more than 6 friends? Well, you're going on this, and you could have 30, 40, 50 people that you know. And I've gotten tired of Richard and Steve, and I want to sit with Anne. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to sit with you. I want to sit with her, right? That's the way this will work, and it'll be fun. The dinner is ancillary. The experience is what I want to do. I totally believe what I just told you, totally. And that's why while yes, there's a window of time, we'll start to zero in and say, we're having dinner at such and such a time. And we'll work very hard to get the hotel. The hotel is going to be shocked at us. I've already had one, and several, David has too, a conversation with the hotel where we've said, would it be possible to set up 6 tables of 10? And them going, oh my God, all these people want to sit together. Yes, we do. Because we know something that you do not know yet. The pandemic is ending. And 94% of us are vaccinated, and 100% of us that are coming are vaccinated. So we're coming to have fun. And we hope your food is good. In that order, right? So that's my answer. No, it is not buffet. It's table service. The breakfast is choices, but the dinner is not. Yes, ma'am.
The spas, are bathing suits optional?
No.
And are the sexes?
Separated, yes. This is Italy. This is Catholic, yes. And by the way, there's virtually no gay. Rome is a monstrously big city, 15 million people. And I think that there are maybe 4 gay bars, maybe. And it's so closeted. And it's one of the things that I'm really fascinated to do, to see if we can peel this away to get you in to see different kinds of gay experiences in Rome. But it's very, very hard. And the reason is they have the biggest pride in Italy is Rome Pride in June. But it's like my Hollywood Pride a couple of weeks ago. It's a family festival. It's not like we experience. So in Italy, exact same thing for the spas. It's conservative, bathing suits are required, men and women are separated, and they're fabulous. If you are a massage and bathing person, the Excelsior Spa, I don't know if you've looked at that yet. If you just make a mental note and write that down to go in and look at the Excelsior Spa, it's like, holy goodness. And you are a 3-minute walk from the Excelsior Spa, the #1 spa in Europe. And it is stunning, absolutely stunning. Yeah.
So, please know when I ask this, I'm excited to be with the whole group, and it's very exciting to get to know all of you, and I'm looking forward to that. A little bit of a but. I just want to understand, so for each of the day trips, say Venice, etc., is it, I'm picturing 60 people walking with a guide together through Venice, and that seems a little bit overwhelming to me. Is every day trip a prescribed kind of large group experience, or are some of them like, hey, we'll see you back here at the buses at 5?
He gets to the right answer in the last sentence. Everything is planned for you. Everything. Everything is planned for you to be able to experience it. If you wanted to do nothing at all, we're going to make sure you have a great time. That was the first half of his observation. Yes, you're going to come into the St. Lucia terminal and you're going to get put on a boat, because if you walk from the St. Lucia terminal to St. Marco, it would take you an hour and a half to walk there. There are no taxis. There is no Uber. You would have to understand how to use the water taxi, and the water taxi system is like the New York subway system. And it works great, but you have to know how to do it. What boat, how you buy your tickets, blah, 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 blah. We will ensure that you don't have to do that. And the reason is your time is so precious. We don't want you to have to waste any time doing that. So we'll do everything turnkey for you. The moment you go, thank you very much, great, have a great time, and off you go. You are able to do both. So what will happen, every place that we go, we will make sure it's really clear. And we've already talked to the guides in Italy about this. And the gay guys or girls, whatever the final is, they understand this really clearly. We want to make sure that you have a great experience until you no longer want that great experience and you want a different experience. And so off you go. So what we'll do is we'll say, you're meeting us back here at such and such a time. Have a great day, or a great evening if it's an evening event, or whatever it might be. If you're not back, we'll go, oh, you're completely capable of getting back to this hotel. And you know why? Because we're going to be there for 10 more nights. And not even give it a second thought. It's perfect. It really is perfect. Because I can tell who these two people already are. And by the way, let's make a note, because we've got a problem on our hands back here. So whatever you want to do, we want to make sure you get to do whatever you want to do, period. Either end of that spectrum, because that's what's going to make this so great. And I want to do the same thing. I have done every single thing this is doing over and over and over again. And I told you at the last meeting, I'm excited to do it because I haven't seen it post-pandemic. That's what's going to be unique for me. I'm getting to watch a whole new thing, so we'll make sure. Okay. Questions of what we've talked about. Now we're in Montecatini. Okay. First, in Montecatini is completely different than Rome. Rome's 15 million people. Montecatini, I'm guessing off the top of my head, but it impressions to me as 30,000 people. Maybe it's 60, I don't know. But it's a small town. It's going to remind you of Wilton Manors a little bit bigger. Where you're staying dead center in Montecatini. You'll be able to walk to the main square, which is in Italy is a very important thing, to be near the squares. You'll be able to walk to the principal spas, the Excelsior, in just moments. It's a really great experience because it's such a walking town. The reason it is so much better than Florence is because you're in a smaller town than Florence and get the exact same kind of experience. Not the bridge and not the big cathedral, but all of the other kinds of things you get in Montecatini. And it's dead center in Tuscany, so your day trips out are hub and spoke sightseeing, which works great. So the ship is docking right in the middle of Tuscany, and out you go in different directions, north, south, east, and west. In Montecatini, so we'll be in the middle of the city, the hotels become a different standard than the business hotel that I told you about, Pompeo in Rome. The hotels are definitely smaller. I think that there's only, in Montecatini, there is probably, in a town of 30, 40, 50,000 people, there's probably 400 hotels. It's a complete tourism destination, top spa city in Europe. The hotels are, in general, 40, 50, 70, 80 rooms. I think the Biondi is 80 rooms. Maybe 100, maybe, I don't know, something like that. It's relatively small. Nice pool, nice lounge. You'll love the lounges. If you're a red wine drinker like me, oh, you're going to love it. And nice restaurant. And that's it. And all of these hotels are replicated over and over again, and people are staying for a month, 6 weeks from all over Europe to come here to do that. So you'll be staying right in the middle of Montecatini. What's great for virtually every face in this room is you can get out and walk, and you'll feel safe. This is not like Paris, which is a safe city. It's not like Madrid, which is a safe city. This is a safe city, and you're going to feel it instantaneously. And that's wonderful, because you're going to want to get out during the day. In this instance, exactly to his point, you might not want to do something for the day, and you might want to experience Montecatini. Whatever it might be that you want to get out and do, you'll feel comfortable in doing it. Your exploratory nature will be well suited in Montecatini. So you'll be able to do all of that. But again, your expectation has to be correct. The hotels are the hotels. You're staying in a 4-star hotel. You can't go to Europe, especially to Italy and Spain, those two places especially, and go, this is not my standard of a 4-star hotel. Italy doesn't care what Al thinks the standard of a 4-star hotel is. It is a 4-star hotel. And if we focus on it in any way other than that, you won't have as good an experience. I'm just telling you in advance, and I want you to have a great experience in doing this. So your location's right. The Biondi is a very famous Montecatini hotel. It's as I said, the location is great. The restaurant is very good. And I think you're going to like it very much. And then from there, the hotel has a position where lots of hotels in Montecatini, the streets are very small. So motor coaches can't get up the street. And frequently, when you're staying in Montecatini, you have to walk 3 blocks to get to your bus. You won't have to do that at the Biondi, which is fortunate for us. We'll get on the coach, and then we'll do our day trips. And that's what we'll do in Montecatini. So questions about Montecatini? Tuscany. Okay, so looking at just telling you about what we're doing. From Montecatini, the included sightseeing is outlined in the day by day. Those are all full day excursions. Every other day basically is sightseeing included, and then a day off. And on the day off, we have asked the ground handler to include different kinds of things that you might like to do. This is important because Montecatini is a secondary city in Tuscany, and there's not TripAdvisor, for example. There's not Gray Line of Tuscany in Montecatini. So we'll make sure that value-priced options are available to you so you can get out. The big things to do is the Tuscan farms. There'll be a day experience to go to the farms. There will be an experience to do the train to go to Cinque Terre, to the 5 villages, which is absolutely breathtakingly spectacular. Amalfi and Cinque Terre, they battle for the most scenic argument in Europe. And also, I should tell you, we have asked, we don't have the final yet, but from last month's meeting, we did not realize that Venice was so important to so many of you. We did not know that. This is not a Venice trip. It just isn't. And we didn't even think about it that way. When we all sat down and talked about what would we want to do, Venice wasn't even in our periphery. Offering an optional excursion up to Venice for the day because you're relatively so close to Venice, being in Montecatini. But we didn't understand until last month. So many people wanting to do Venice. Normally, people go to Venice and they do Rome, Florence, Venice, and that's their Italy experience. That's not what this experience is, because it focuses on the 3 nights in Rome and then the 10 nights in Tuscany. So it's just a day excursion. However, we have asked the ground handler to make a modification, and we asked the hotel in Montecatini if they would make a modification. So I will tell you now, and we're probably 10 days away from the notice of this. It's a little complicated, but I'll just briefly explain. The second to last night in Montecatini, you're staying 11 nights. On day 9, after 9 nights in Montecatini, we will offer the excursion up to Venice for the day. And so you can go to Venice for the day and back to Montecatini. But we have asked the hotel, we've asked the Beyonde to allow us out of the reservations for anybody that wanted to do that, where when you go to Venice, you will be able to exchange your 2 nights in Montecatini with 2 nights in Venice on the island. And then what you would do is you would go up with the day tour, and then you would stay in Venice. And then on the last day, which is I think day 13 or day 14, after 2 nights in Venice, the group that's in Montecatini would take the bus from Montecatini to Rome for the one final night. Anyone that stayed in Venice will take the train from Venice, from the island, back to Rome and catch up with the group. So you will have the opportunity to do 3 nights and 3 days and 2 nights in Venice if you want to do that. And we're about 10 days away from that. It will be very value oriented because the Beyonde is going to allow us to let you out of the guarantee of their reservation to do it. So instead of paying the Beyonde, we're paying Venice and whatever their supplement might be, but it's a nice way for you to be able to do Venice. So I give you the heads up that that is coming. 10 nights there, half of the sightseeing included all of the major Tuscan cities and sites, Lucca, Pisa. Our next meeting in March, we're going to go through and show you video on each of the days and the destinations, so you get a feel in advance of what you're going to do. But that's the 10 nights in Montecatini. Questions there in terms of what we're doing in Tuscany?
You got God on your side to do that. Because that's amazing.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny because I think I'm going to do it too. So, Richard was one of the first people to say, "Were you paying attention? I want to do more time in Venice." We just didn't think that that's what you would wanted to do, but we'll make it work. All right. So after our 10 nights in Montecatini, then we'll leave Montecatini. We'll go back to Rome with a stop in the southern part of Tuscany. At one of the 7 hill villages, and then we'll come back to Rome and go to Pio for one final night. We'll have a farewell dinner, and then that evening we're working on an excursion doing illumination in Rome and doing a special event in Rome that final evening. Then on day 15, you'll have breakfast, and we'll have your flight information. We will set up schedules of transfers based on time and flight groupings, and it'll transfer you right from the hotel directly to Rome International. And we'll get you to the airport for your flight. Everybody has their passport, correct? right? You can't get out of the United States without your passport. You can't get into Italy without your passport. Your passport has to be held golden with you. It must be held golden with you. We recommend that if vaccine passport, or vaccine, no, bad word, your vaccine card be kept with your passport, because your vaccine card and your passport are indispensable on this trip. If Italy continues in their current plan, which we do not know, I suspect they won't be, but we don't know, you will have to qualify to be able to travel to the different regions. We will travel with 3 classification regions that currently have codes on them of what you can do in the regions, how long things can stay open, what you can visit, etc. But this is changing very dramatically, and we'll keep you current on that. All right, yes, sir.
Passport, you might want to mention that the expiration date has to be at least 6 months beyond
Yeah.
your return.
Yeah. Yes, that's, I agree with you, and everything you've heard, that's true, but that's an old wives' tale. It is commonly said, because in case you rob a bank or something, you have to stay in the country that you're staying for 6 months. But you should follow that, of stay 6 months beyond. Your passports have to be current, and you know, passports are really important. Right, yeah, robbing a bank. Well, I'm going to keep my eye on Ann, because, you know. Other questions, Broaden? Okay. The answer is, I have absolutely no idea. If it was today, yes. April 19th, departure from the US, we don't know. April 20th, arrival in Italy, we don't know. Departure from Rome on May 3rd, we don't know. And arrival back in the US on May 3rd, we don't know. I suspect, pure guess, no. It's changing so quickly, but we just don't know. And to be honest with you, I answer that kind of tongue-in-cheek, because me giving you any other answer would be just a total ridiculous guess on my part, because our CDC doesn't even know what they're doing. Right. Which, it, oh, okay. Thank you for that note. Yeah, I'll ask what that is about. I don't. Yeah, we fill the lion's share of the hotel, so that may be a situation in terms of the seasonality of the hotel. Yeah, yeah. We'll bump them on that. See what we can do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. I wasn't aware of that. Oh, okay. Steve, can you write that down for me about a pre-night in Rome? How many people are going into Rome early? Okay, 5 or 6. All right. Yeah, we need to find that out for April 19th in Rome. Okay. Yes, we can. I'm sure that's not a problem. Sir.
Just confirming the day going out is
May 3rd is your departure from Rome back to the United States. Yeah. No. Going to Europe, wait, that's very important, because that's a common mistake. Going to Europe, you have the cross, it's an overnight flight. So you leave April 19th, arrive on the 20th. When you return, you're going to leave Rome on the 3rd, but with time change, you arrive the same day on May 3rd.
we're on it right on it.
Not coming back.
Leave coming back. Yeah. Our flight leaves at 7:45.
Yeah, but you would still arrive even with a.
No, because by the time we get back to the States, 6 a.m. on the 4th. Depends on your airline.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have never flown Pterodactyl Air, so I'm really kidding.
It's called Turkish Airlines.
Oh, you're going through Istanbul. Oh, okay. I'd remind you, if you still can do it, Istanbul, Turkish Airlines has free stopovers in Istanbul. And you could add as many as 48 hours in Istanbul free. And I've done that twice. It's fantastic. Just as long as you don't kiss your partner in Istanbul. Yes. Yes. However, I wouldn't, yes, you can. But they're going to give us, they're going to give Sunshine a rate different than what you're going to get. Well, and that's the note that we've made, because this didn't make it to me, and I'll find out. And then you can just compare, because you can go on and find out what Papio is. But right now, for example, we looked at this a couple of weeks ago, and they were charging like $220 a night. And, you know, maybe they can get that, maybe they can, I don't know. But we'll help with this. Steve's going to help me on that. Other questions? Yes, ma'am. That's a very complicated question. And the reason it's complicated is the Europeans say gratuity is included, but gratuity is not included. And this is principally an LGBT trip, LGBTQ plus trip, and so we know how we tip, and it's not based on the same standard as the Europeans would say. So the hotel or a restaurant say gratuity is included, and I personally ignored that completely. Now, you don't, you know, frequently LGBT might be in a 20% gratuity in a restaurant or a bar. You don't have to do that, but I would almost universally do at least 10%. They have gratuity built in. Their salary base and gratuity is different than it is in the United States. Oh, we're going to give you those recommendations. At our final meeting, we'll tell you what we recommend the driver and your guides. Each time that you have a guide in an individual city, we'll tell you what that is. And we'll also tell you in terms of your manager, this LGBT person that is with you 24 hours a day. We'll tell you what that recommendation is. Yes?
Some of the hotels I've been in Europe have a daily charge that they add.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and you'll have to do that. We'll tell you what that is. But for example, in Rome, it's been a little while, but I think like €4 a day. They have a mandatory tax that each guest must pay that cannot be prepaid. And the reason they don't want to prepay it is because they don't want to pay any portions of commissions to operators or travel agents or blah, 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 blah. And so you'll have to do that on site. And upon your checkout, there's a charge that Rome and Tuscany has and it's kind of a unique thing that Italy does that you'll have to pay. It's not exorbitant, but you'll have to do it because there's no choice, and it can't be prepaid. You must do it on site. Does everybody understand that? Yeah, okay. Sir? Well, no, you don't, but this gets really complicated. If you have Verizon, for example, I would recommend if you plan to use your phone, you go into a Verizon store and have them in front of you walk through the process of the plan addition for your phone. You can do it, but it is very complicated, and you have to make sure that they walk you through step by step of what they're going to charge to do it. And I recommend you do that face-to-face with your provider as opposed to on the phone, because it is complicated. If you don't need to have a phone, I would recommend you not have a phone. If you use your phone and you live in your phone because of Facebook or other social media, etc., that's then your decision, because you really need your phone for that kind of thing. But you just have to decide how important your phone is. Well, no, whoever your company is, your provider, your phone provider does the exact same thing. Oh, well, yeah. I'm changing from Verizon tomorrow. Right, that's good.
If you have internet access, you can use WhatsApp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right, exactly. Ann? I have, yeah.
Wi-Fi access
That's again, post-pandemic, there's going to be changes because this a very significant expense for relatively small hotels. So I cannot tell you currently. We'll have better information in our last social briefing about internet access. But generally, it's all public space in the lobby, common area, not in your room. And you probably won't find it. Yeah. Try to disconnect if you can. It would be nice, right? Other questions? Okay, we're going to, David will put out what we're going to do in March, but approximately the second or the third Thursday in March, we'll do this again. And then our final one will be the Thursday before we leave on Tuesday the 19th. We'll do it. Sorry? Oh, is it? Oh, I've not heard that. Hello, yeah. Yeah, right. Okay. We're going to have a, yeah. The 18th on Monday. Can you make that notation also about, April, the Thursday 2 weeks before the departure. I don't see why I can't do that. Yeah. Okay, any final questions?
You might want to take note that the temperatures in Tuscany at that time of year barely get at 70s at all. You're dealing with mostly 60s.
Yeah.
And at night, a lot colder.
Yeah, 50 to 70 degrees is what we're going to experience in Tuscany. Yeah, which is fantastic. Right, yeah. All right, well, I hope the information is beneficial for you. Again, the people in the room, if you heard some different voices, make sure you meet and glad hand and say hello. The number one thing is to communicate in the Facebook group. Asking questions, many of the questions tonight would be completely appropriate in the Facebook group. And it begins to allow you to start to interact with everybody, so we have all the better of time. Yep, we have more maps over here. All right, well, thank you, everybody. The food was great tonight. Thank you very much for doing that. And we can't wait to see you in Italy.